All right, hey guys. So I want to make a video, um, just looking at some miniatures for the Sassanians to brainstorm another project. So if you're regular viewers, you guys know I've been working on doing this particular Ottoman and Polish campaign from the 17th century, and that project is almost done for the most part. I mean, I just have to finish painting everything, but in terms of like getting all the figures together and, you know, even most of like planning out the scenario is actually kind of done, you know, with that. I'm hoping I can either get with my club and run it for them or do it at a convention in the next, 6 months, year. Anyway, just wanted to make a video doing a little kind of um, brainstorming about something I've been thinking about for a while because I wanted to try something different, maybe. Um, and I was thinking about doing Sassanian or Sassanid, whatever you'd like, Persians. Now, I mostly come at this from, uh, I'm doing my PhD in Islamic history, so I mostly know about the Sassanians as being kind of losing. This was the last Zoroastrian kind of classical Persian dynasty. Was defeated during the Arab conquests, and in fact, a lot of the sources of their history don't really exist, and there's not much material culture that survives or that's been excavated and studied at least, mostly just because of the invasion and then subsequent kind of centuries of Persian history. Um, so a lot of the knowledge about them to begin with comes from like there's like Arab histories that um, will that we're using presumably Persian kind of documents and sources, but obviously that has a kind of spin to it. But anyway, but what I want to do is maybe do the period of kind of the later Sassanian and Roman conflicts. Um, the because the period of Heraclius really interests me. Actually, I'm not really super deep into Roman history, but the kind of beginning of the Middle Ages in some ways, the Heraclius who defeats the Persians in this really incredible war, and kind of this is how the story is usually presented, and it's I think for good reason that Heraclius fights this really long and bloody, but ultimately successful war against the Sassanians. He reconquers a bunch of Roman territory, only for kind of the Arab conquest to begin to kind of spill out and really change kind of really change the world in a lot of ways. But I think I wanted to just take a look at some Sassanian miniatures. I don't actually know that much about the kind of Sassanian military, other than it was kind of more of a cavalry army. But yeah, I just wanted to go through and look at the options. I mean, if I do this project, I'm thinking about probably doing it in 15 millimeter. I will look at some 28 millimeter figures, and I'm only mostly I've switched to 15s just because of space. Unfortunately, I last several years I've had to move a lot, and I can't always have a bunch of 28 millimeter figures. But maybe I think I'm hoping soon in the next year or so, and hopefully a couple of years, I'll be in a more kind of stable place where I don't have to move everything as much. But anyway, so I found Alternative Armies does a range. I've never ordered any of their figures. I know they're pretty popular and they look nice. Now, the only thing with these guys for 15s is they do look a little small in the pictures compared to other 15s, but I'm only basing that off of the proportions. Um, and it may just be that they're kind of, some of them are kind of skinnier, like I'm looking at the archers, but Coruscant's figures are a little kind of, some of them tend to be a little skinny, um, and others tend to be, kind of bulkier and more like heroic style. So, but these look pretty cool. I do like they have the cataphract. Those look pretty neat. They've got the Parthian, or I guess, yeah, light cavalry. I guess it would still be Parthians. That was the dynasty before the Sassanians. Um, and yeah, they look pretty cool. Um, and these are the Clibinarius. Yeah, there we go. Not a Latinist, sorry. Uh, I know other weird languages instead. Anyway, and I've got, this is pretty cool with the bolt thrower. Um, yeah, they do have elephants, and I am a man that likes a good war elephant despite not yet having any in my collection. So that would be pretty cool. But like I said, I don't know if, how well these would mix because they do look kind of like small 15 millimeter, if that makes sense. Um, so anyway, if you have experience with alternative armies, let me know. I do plan to buy to order some alternative armies in the future, some of their because they do have some Hungarian hussars, and I would like to get some of those just to review and paint up. So maybe if I get some of those, I can figure out, um, what the what how they look compared to my other 15s. And they do have Arabs. I won't look at those today, but it is cool that they do have the Arab army. So if I wanted to, or if anybody wanted to do the Arab invasions of Persia, you could do that. Next, this is another brand. I was searching around. I came across them kind of randomly, actually, when I was doing one of my live streams, Lurkio, and they do 15s. And these look really good, actually. They look nice and crisp, kind of like. Let me see if I can zoom in. They kind of remind me of Coruscant in that the detail looks really sharp. They look like they paint up nicely, and I do like how on the cataphracts you can tell that the armor um, kind of panels, yeah, looks nice and sculpted on, which makes painting these easier, especially if you want to do like patterns on this, because that's I've noticed that on my Coruscant Ottomans, the painting the barding is a lot easier because they sculpt the kind of texture on. So those look nice. And then wouldn't be a Corvinus Wargaming video without looking at some kind of horse archer, I guess. Let's see if we can zoom in on these guys. These look really sharp. Um, yeah, this project would I'd have to do a bunch of research, which is why later in the video I'm going to look at some reading material because I don't really know that much about the Sassanians other than that they used a lot of cavalry, which is kind of a seems like a consistent theme in Iranian Persian history overall, the military history. But these guys look really cool. The armored horse archers, and I like the cataphracts from Lurkio as well. So I mean, I could always mix and match, multiple manufacturers, which is, I mean, what I've done with my Renaissance collection of 15 millimeter anyway. Um, and they have a pretty good variety of units. Now, the only kind of downside is not really anything to do with the miniatures. It's just it is ordering from the UK. Um, so, and I would like to see what the pack contents. So this gives you 12 figures for 13 pounds, 60 pence. That's pretty good. Seems like it's probably about the similar price to like Coruscant or something. Um, and they also have elephants, so that's nice. One elephant, three crew. Kind of like these elephants better than the alternative armies ones, and also um, these have a cool Zoroastrian crest on them, which is neat. And let's see, what's the difference? Oh, okay. I guess this is just the same. And I don't know for these guys if the banner has it's like an accessory you can buy from these guys, or maybe I can find that quickly. No, I don't see any kind of just like page. It says like transfers or anything. So maybe it is like sculpted or something. But anyway, I like these guys. Here's some of the infantry. Yeah, and even on the infantry too, they have like the night some pretty nice, clean, crisp sculpting. So that's pretty neat. And looks like some of them have mail and some of them are unarmored. Hmm. It's kind of interesting because that they use the round shields too. Um, I wonder if that was just maybe some kind of trend in later antiquity to shift to round shields because Treyarch's Wargaming is has his later Romans that have the round shields too, but it's just my guess. So that's Lurkio, and they look pretty good. And and they have. I do want to click on these archers quickly because these look a lot like. Well, yeah, they look pretty similar to the Tajik archers I have for my um, Safavid army, which is Persia or Iran, but much later, about 1,000 years after the Sassanians, give or take. But these guys look pretty good too. Yeah, and oh, that's actually a pretty good deal. 24 figures per pack. That's pretty nice. So I think even though it's in the UK and I have to pay probably a little bit more for shipping, I think these are pretty good deal in terms of how many you get per pack, especially for the infantry. All right, and then for the last of the kind of smaller scale on Eureka Miniatures USA, I check them out because they have some Sassanians, and these look really nice in terms of the quality of the sculpting and the casting, at least in these pictures. Um, got the Clibinarius. There we go. They've got Lance, and I think Eureka. They seem a little pricier, but they just look really good. Um, the elephant's not as fancy, but maybe I could go to Lurkio for the elephants, and then these cataphracts look really nice. This good, yeah, yeah. These look really good. Um, and then let's see, and these you I guess you order by price per mounted figure. Okay, so but I guess they're sold out. Oh, that's too bad. Um, oh, they're sold out of the Lancers, but they've got the other. Okay, just worried for a minute that like the range was no longer being produced. Um, I guess they're just sold out of some things. The Royal Party. Hmm. Guess they don't have a lot in stock. Maybe that's normal for them. But anyway, these look really nice. So this is definitely a good option. And they don't have, but Lurkio has these Dailami, the guardsmen, but looks like Eureka just has kind of the regular spearmen. But that's okay. All right, and then I think now we'll look at some 28s. I'll go to Gripping Beast. I know the Gripping Beast, the quality can be kind of hit or miss. But these are, let's see, 28 millimeter metal figures. So maybe if they're metals, they'll be a bit better because I know the Gripping Beast plastics can be kind of, you know, not that great. But these look pretty good actually. Um, Now the only thing for me, this is nothing, no reflection on the figures, is just that for some reason for me painting 28 millimeter cavalry, I I really struggle with it. 15 millimeter cavalry I can paint all day for some reason, but 28 just some reason I get hung up on it. Um, but anyway, these look really nice. Got the cataphracts look good. Um, these other guys. I guess I'll have to look up what the difference is between like the cataphracts and the Clibinari. Um, the figures have cast on shields. That's actually really nice. That's a nice touch because that can be kind of a pain with doing yeah, just having to glue on little shields. Here we have a heavy command. So I guess this would look good as like a general, probably not the Padishah, but or the Shahanshah, but this looks pretty cool, like a cool general. Do like these like male kind of helmets that they wore. Let's see, these are heavy cavalry, but maybe what else do they have? They do have elephants. Those look okay. Let's go. Oh, they do have the light cavalrymen, a few different types. That's actually nice that they've got some with lances, some with arrows. That would be good for a little bit of variety. And here's the infantry. So these guys have square shields. Yeah, these seem okay. At least they look good in the pictures. I don't know. I've never bought Gripping Beast metal figures before, so I don't know the quality. Um, okay, but you do have to buy wire spears for them, so that is a factor. The next range I wanted to go through was uh, Old Glory, which they don't have any in 15, but they do have a 25 or it's really like 28 millimeter range. I know the Old Glory, the 15s have a pretty solid reputation, so I think these look pretty good actually, um, as well. They look like they're nicely casted. The pictures are not great, I have to admit, on the website, but copyright 2000, nice. I mean, they're good pictures. I'm not really poking fun at it, but Javelin Men. Now it seems like they don't have the kind of Royal Guard or whatever the ones at the Lurkio, the Dailami, But yeah, looks like a nice range. Um, I'll just click quickly to see what we've got. We've got Huns, Palmyrans. Uh, I wonder what these guys are. I have no idea. Um, anyway, yeah, it might not be bad if I did this uh, from Old Glory. Wouldn't be bad to get um, some Huns just to use to represent like light cavalry archers, but I can't really tell the quality. Now these are $41 for 10 figures, so that's the price that is a factor. Um, yeah. How many do you get in the cataphract pack? 10 figures. Okay. So, yeah, going up to 28, the price is going to be a factor. I didn't even think to look at Gripping Beast. So it's 7. Can we put it in currency I understand better? Okay. 8. So base almost $9 for how many figures? I guess it's 4. Yeah, okay, four figures for $8. That's not so bad, I guess, for 28 millimeter. Um, yeah, so those are the ranges, and like I said, I think at this point I'm just exploring this, and I'm kind of leaning toward doing 15 millimeter because I found doing my Ottoman army and my Polish army, which are both mostly cavalry. I think that doing big cavalry armies in 15 millimeter with a lot of 15 millimeter figures, I think it makes doing a big cavalry army easier in terms of like the amount of time spent painting and the cost, but then also it looks, I think, just as good, if not better, because you can kind of fit more of them onto the table compared to 28s. Um, you know, but that's kind of my thinking based on doing that project, and doing Sassanians would probably be a similar thing of a lot of cavalry. So I think for 15s, I really like these Lurkia ones, and the alternative armies ones are uh, are not bad either. Um, but I think I just have to get my hands on some of these to get a better idea of what they look like. Because sometimes, the pictures on the catalog on these sites doesn't always show them the best. Now, I think this video is pretty long, but I just wanted to make a video too. So now I'll go through some books. I'm going to go through this part a little faster, but this is the main book that I know about that I really want to read. I haven't gotten to it yet. The Last Great War of Antiquity, and this book I've been wanting to read for a while because, uh, as the abstract said, this book fills a gaping hole in the history of warfare. The conflict lasted 25 years, spring of 1603 to the late winter of 1628. So long time, 25 years. And the author's done some interviews on YouTube, James Howard Johnston, and it's a pretty lengthy book. Let me wonder how many it gives the pages, because this is kind of like an ebook version. Um, yeah, I guess it doesn't say the pages, but I think it's a pretty weighty book. Yeah, and I guess while I'm at it, I will uh, show you guys the book that got me really interested um, in this period. Is this book Heraclius, Emperor of Byzantium, by Walter Kagi, who unfortunately passed away a couple of years ago. Really interesting Byzantinist. He also wrote a great book about the Arab, Islamic conquest of North Africa, which is fascinating to read. But anyway, um, And I think Heraclius is like kind of an he's an interesting figure to me because he shows just how, just the contingency of history, that he was really able to defeat the Sassanians in kind of a desperate situation, but then the this Arab, you know, empire, or basically, uh, or what will become the Arab Empire, kind of explodes out of the Arabian desert, and kind of really changes the whole Roman calculus, and ends up upending Persia, as it had been known. So that's what got me interested in this, and we'll get to this book in a second. But also, oh yeah, just one more range quickly is Amorum and Aquila, which I think Ranger Wargaming had recommended this to me a couple of years ago when I was trying to paint Gauls, and these are 28s. Um, and these also look really nice. This is here we've got Shapur. They look nice and clean. Um, and oh, then they've got another one of the emperors. One moves to the second. Yeah, a lot of horse stuff. And I like this range too because this also has the Parthian style cavalry, which was still, I think, a part of the Sassanian sort of state. And the spearmen look good too. So a lot of good figures in this. And let's see, it's 9.95. How many figures per pack? It does not say. Maybe it'll tell me. Hmm. Yeah, anyway, it doesn't say. I guess it's for three figures for nine British pounds each. So that's also kind of a factor of, yeah, all packs are three figures. Okay, and all infantry are eight figures. So $10 for, or 10 British pounds for eight infantry. Yeah, that might be doable. Okay, but back to these look also really good. So, but anyway, back to books. This is more recent, kind of more of a popular book, but I think Adrian Goldsworthy is pretty solid. I think I read his Caesar biography when I was in college. I think I remember it being pretty good, or one of his books on Caesar. Um, but this covers like kind of the longer history of the two, kind of not just the Sassanians. So this might be worth checking out. Um, nice 592 pages. We love a good tome here at Corvinus Wargaming. Um, so that's another good one. The next one, this is, I think, a little more kind of academic and technical, but this is The Decline and Fall of the Sassanian Empire, Sassanian Parthian Confederacy and Conquest of Iran, by Parneva Porshariati. Um, this is also a pretty nice tome. Um, and it answers an interesting question. I think is pretty interesting. Why is that? Because we know Rome is battered by the kind of emerging caliphate, but does survive ultimately. But why not the Persians? So um, yeah, I think this is a really interesting book. I might even start with this one if I get into this project. Um, yeah, because this looks like a pretty interesting. Uh, yeah, this looks really good. Now, the last one, this is kind of a general history of kind of the best for last in a way, the last empire of Iran by Michael Bonner, who he's done quite a few interviews and podcasts discussing the book. Um, and it's published by a good press, Gorgeous. They do a lot of good stuff on especially like Middle East history, especially Syriac Christianity. But anyway, and this is also pretty lengthy. I mean, 404 pages is pretty good, and yeah, just it's a nice overview. Um, and he also does something interesting where I think he's talked about this in the interviews because I haven't read the book yet, but he also makes sure to focus a lot on the Sassanian relationship with kind of the steppe peoples in Central Asia and antiquity, which is pretty important. And that kind of another running theme in Persian history, even long after this. So, yeah. Um, all right, this has kind of been a longer video, so if you've watched to the end, I appreciate it. This was just kind of a brainstorming session and looking at some miniatures. So I may get into this, especially after looking at these Lurkio figures. They look really nice. The AB ones do too, and the 28s do too. But I'm for now. I think if I do this, I'm going to lean toward um, doing it in 15 millimeter, just because of kind of practical contingencies. But there are a lot of good options for figures. It looks like a lot more than I thought. I don't know why there wouldn't be that many Sassanian miniature ranges, but I was wrong. Yeah, so but I think what I'm gonna have to do is just get into reading. I'm probably gonna have to read this one. I'll probably have to reread Kagi's Heraclius biography too, and uh, and these other ones are also pretty interesting. So, all right, thanks for watching, everyone. And like I said, if you made it to the end, I appreciate it. And if you have any suggestions in the comments, feel free. All right. Talk to you all in the next video.